Okay, here we go. What's up, everybody? Appreciate you guys chiming in tonight. Our weekly live stream here on YouTube on the channel. Make sure you drop a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate everybody who stops in and listens to me ramble. Tonight's topic is, we'll get the whiteboard out. You guys, one of your guys' favorite activities. It's going to be a collaboration tonight with you, with the channel. Obviously, if you can't make the live, if you're watching this on the podcast and or watching this, after the fact, which I know a number of my subscribers do. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you, some of the areas of concern that we may or may not talk about tonight. But basically, what spawned this whole live stream tonight, number one, is we haven't done a top 10, top 5, whatever, junkyard, hazard. We haven't done a live stream like this in a while. So we're going to at least talk about, this stuff for, 30, 45 minutes, hour, whatever time it takes. It may take us in no longer than that. I don't know. But it's going to be a collaboration with you in the channel. We're going to fill this whiteboard up. It's going to be more than 10, bro. So might as well just go ahead and get your popcorn, and we'll start talking some Foxbody shit here in a minute. So big shout, first and foremost, big shout to the guys in green. They are my channel members. Channel members help me do some of the things on the channel that I otherwise couldn't do without them. So I appreciate you guys. Obviously, to the guys in green. So big shout to you guys here in the chat. Thank you guys for what you guys do for me in the channel every month. So big shout to you. Another big shout to you, Headlight Motorsports, #1 sponsor on the channel outside of, obviously Tremec, Stiflers, Team Z, Viking, and McLeod. I appreciate you guys for what you've done for the channel and my cars too as well. Anyways. Oh, I forgot Stiflers. No, I said Stiflers. Oh, I wanted to actually show you guys something with the Stiflers. We're going to actually be giving away a couple banners, maybe a swag pack. I don't know what we're going to be doing tonight as far as giveaways concerned, but I did want to. Tom Clark and Brian over at Stifler sent me an item that I'm going to actually make a short video about, but I like to actually do stuff in the live stream as well to kind of maybe cheat and show you guys a little bit of, what's coming up or whatever. But yeah, got the 2 banners on the top of the black car right there. There's one. Well, I guess you just have to wait to see. We're going to be giving them away later on in this live stream. We've been doing a lot of that lately, and I think that's pretty cool. I mean, I think you guys are enjoying that. We got a fluctuation of a bunch of banners, for Ford Takeover. McLeod sent me a bunch. Tremec sent me a bunch. Hamlin had a couple. I had a couple old ones from Stiflers and Vengeance. So if you guys really like that shit, then I'll just continue to. I'll hit up these companies and ask them. I mean, it's kind of something a little bit different. It's kind of like garage swag. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard to get these little, these 6-foot banners to begin with, and they're not cheap when you do. So it's kind of nice to be able to hand them off a little bit. Yeah, I agree with that. It's so sad to see the state of some of these cars are in. You're correct. So like I said, we were working on the black Foxbody today. I was doing some fixes on it. And that's pretty much what kind of spawned me into, this whole live stream about, some of the areas of concern. And, we're going to start off with, since I'm a stick shift sunroof car, the black car is, I'm not going to put it on the board, but, tell you what happened earlier. Like, we were changing, my car's been leaking. It literally ruined the sunroof ABS board, which you guys know that have sunroof cars. The sunroof headliner is like a vinyl, right? It's got an ABS board there still, but it's vinyl and it's tucked into the seal, whatever. That shit sees, over time it gets ripped and dry, dry crack, whatever. But when your sunroof seal leaks, and I'm not going to get into detail with it, it gets down into into the ABS board and just ruins the header panel. So my car hasn't had a header panel in a while, and I've just been lazy and not put a new seal in it. But today I put a new seal in it today, and it was a PETA. I mean, literally, I cut my hand because it's got metal like lining inside of it. I mean, it came out like literally just like evaporated. I mean, just as soon as I started peeling on it, it would break off, and it was like an old twig. That's how old it was. And it was just like, I was thinking to myself, man, this would make for a really good, live stream to talk about, like, some of the areas like that are like super concerning. We were actually taking the console out to do some interior dyeing because, I'm going to be honest with you guys, my black car and my white car, 75% of the interior has been dyed. We dyed it here at the shop. And some of the, the items like quarter panels, door panels, we didn't dye those, but a lot of the items are just, interior restored or whatever you want to call it. But, we were going underneath the console. For you stick shift guys, this is an area of concern. I can tell you right now, I was driving with my black Foxbody last night. I was out with my kids and my girlfriend, Katie, and I could smell like my turbo exhaust. I could smell my turbo exhaust runs right by my transmission down my, transmission valley. And it just couldn't understand why, because my tune wasn't rich. I don't know what was going on with it. So I chalked it up to, I forgot to put I didn't forget, but in the haste of making the video for you guys with the Hanlon shifter for the TKX, who's, got probably one of the, if not the best TKX shifter out there, I didn't put the ring down. So I just kind of set one on there and didn't do the due diligence. So I had to rip it all back out. And, stick shift guys, that boot underneath your console, I guarantee it's either torn, weather beat, or probably just flopping around underneath your console. Even in a car that might not have been touched for a while, that stuff dry rots. And what happens is you get exhaust up into your transmission tunnel, whether you're running, especially if you're running like long tubes or you're running any sort of aftermarket exhaust, which is like 90% of the Foxbodies out there. So you'll get like that smell, like that engine exhaust smell and shit. You know what I mean? So I've done the sunroof seal. What a pain in the job. And now it's just, you got to be careful because, like I said, you can cut your hand taking the seal off, but like it legitimately wasn't all that bad. It was just really, really crusty. And we'll get into the top 10 here in a second. I'll get the board out, but I just wanted to show you, what we had going on here. So, and it wasn't, the seal was just tore up. And I don't know if you guys know, you can take your sunroof out, but it was legitimately this seal right here. This is a seal from, I don't know if this is from NPD. I think this is from NPD. And it's a really nice piece that goes in your sunroof. It fit in pretty well. But I noticed that these were starting to rot real bad. So this is kind of something for sunroof guys. This is areas of concern. Listen, I've watched a number of my buddies, literally message me saying, hey, do we got any factory sunroofs available? Because we don't have, these things fell, they just rotted off. And you won't even know they rotted off because these are like into like a little plastic guide on top of the car. Once these go, literally a good mile an hour or a good gust of wind, your sunroof can come flying out. So I wanted to show you guys kind of what spawned the reason for the live stream tonight. And don't mind the mess in the background. We got the white cars under construction. As you already know, if you follow the channel, you already know why all those parts are sitting there on the ground. But anyway, moving on. I'm working on jack stands, the Harbor Freight mechanical transmission. I guess wheels are worth $100. It's funny because we just had a major failure on one of our engine stands. Cousin Fred was putting a 351 that we're going to start digging into soon. And the whole engine stand broke. So I'm going to weld it up, I guess. Good evening. A while back, you mentioned the value of a very solid Foxbody. Are convertibles, 4-cylinders, automatic transmissions worth anything? Well, that's kind of like back in the day, about 10, 15, 20 years ago, Gary, convertibles, 4-cylinders, and automatics, pretty much, if you had them in the same sentence, they weren't very highly sought after. But, in this day and age, a good 4-cylinder body is worth its weight in gold, period, because it hasn't been beat. Like, a case in point example, my SSP was whooped. I mean, probably for good reason, because my SSP obviously was an ex-police patrol car. So, you know, it's seen nothing but wide open throttles and car chases is pretty much his whole life. So, you know, the torque boxes were all jacked up in it. God only knows how hard the people were on the car after that. I don't think it had very many miles past that, but you know, a good coupe 4-cylinder like body, convertible, LX hatch, whatever. Keep that in mind. I mean, 10, 15 years ago, if it was a 4-cylinder conversion, a lot of people would be like, oh, it's not worth as much as original V8. But, you know, original V8 cars that aren't beat to shit or body-wise are twisted up real bad, you know, they're a dime a dozen, or they're not dime a dozen, but they're hard to find. Anyways, moving on. So here we go. We're going to collaboration. Put my stands front. Okay. Malwood clutch throw out. Pulling a transmission on 4 sucks, but it's almost done. Nice, man. Keep working at it, bro. So, all right. We are going to clear off the board, and we're going to start getting into it. So this is what we were talking about. This is the code. If you guys do Neo 200 off at Hanlon Motorsports, I think this code is still active. You get $200 off of the transmission swap. Not a transmission, a swap. And I think he sold a couple swaps the past couple weeks. So big shout out to you guys who use that code. Thank you so much. But this was our 302 to 351 costs. We're going to revisit this because this wasn't completed. We're going to actually talk about junkyard stuff and 351s. And I'm actually going to start, I might collaborate with my buddy SVT Dan, because he actually told me something last week that one of the best, if not the best blocks you can get for a Terminator build is from a junkyard. So that's definitely something I like to learn, new stuff, especially outside of the Foxbody genre. And definitely interested in figuring that out. Something about a Mark 8 motor or something. Does that sound right? So we might bring him back here on the channel and talk some Cobra Foxbody shit. Know what I mean? You guys see that? All right, moving on. I'm definitely down for another junkyard live stream. I haven't done one of those in a while. Like, you know, we hit 30,000 subscribers, so big shout out to you guys. Gennaro, transmission swap. They have swap kits at his website. So at Hanlon Motorsports, Neo 200 off in the cart, get you $200 off. Thank you. If anyone interested, please post it. All right. I don't know why I'm using brake cleaner. Try to write big. Here we go. Top 10 areas to look for. Give me the first one. I think I'm going to do it in blue. Our Fox bodies are now literally almost, 35 years old? At least the Euroclip one's 40 years old. Strut towers. Okay. Yeah, I just hit 30,000, I think, yesterday. Your traction compound. You mean the 10 pounds of traction compound on the back of my white car right there? You might be right. What's going on, Jason? Good to see you, brother. So you guys don't get a chance, go check out Race Life Photos over on Facebook. He does a lot of independent, I think it's what it's called, professional photography. He's also part of Stripper Glitter and D Team. So big shout out to Stripper Glitter and D Team for what you guys do for us here in Ohio. We are super spoiled with our no prep shit, guys. I'm not gonna lie to you. So number one areas of concern. Let's go. We'll go with the strut towers. Okay. You guys see that? Or is it too bright? You see it? I said one. Just give me one real quick. So strut towers for you. If you guys are just now getting into Foxbody Mustang, strut towers are probably one of the biggest areas of concern, even in the South. Just like these guys are talking about, obviously that's probably one of the first things you want to talk about. Now, when we say strut towers, we don't mean the bottom or the top of the strut towers. A lot of people that try to, you know, picture cars or try to sell cars on Facebook Marketplace or, you know, just anywhere really for that matter. They take a picture of the top of the tower and it's just like, that doesn't show us shit. Like you have to actually, the reason for the concern, in my opinion, is you had your, you know, you had a lot of the AC condenser or whatever, that evaporator or whatever. You had, that thing was always like in hot weather was always working. So you had a lot of condensation in that area. Plus you had a header there heating it up. So it was like always, you know, hot and cold and wet and condensation, whatever. And then on the other side, you had your brake booster and you had your brake, you know, you had your brake proportioning valve that was either leaking, master cylinder started leaking. You know, you're talking about brake cleaner on the strut tower on the driver's side that would literally peel its paint back, you know, and rust it. So that was my two theories on why towers, you know, it wasn't a very good design. They should have never had like a tower inside of a rail. They should have had the tower outside of the rail. I think that would have probably helped a little bit, at least for the most part. Anyways, strut tower is definitely number one. Not number one overall, but just that's a good one to start with. You guys just seen what we did with the SSP. You know, torque boxes, and I didn't even realize how bad my torque boxes really were until we actually got, you know, guy got the phone call from McBride Racing, and they basically said, your shit is screwed. So can you guys see that? Twisting of the body, torque boxes is a good one, that's for sure. Twisting of the body kind of goes hand in foot with torque boxes. Yeah, so maybe I should change the color. You guys can see that, right? Torque boxes, I'm going to tell you right now, guys, it's probably one of the weakest points in the Foxbodies. Strut towers raw, torque boxes rip, the car twists. You know, putting full-length subframe connectors on your Foxbody Mustang is always a really, really good idea. You know, because, you know, once these torque boxes start to actually twist, start to rip, your whole car is going to start to twist. My SSP was literally so out of whack that they had to plumb bob like half the damn car, like 10 times, just to get my torque boxes to line up correctly. And that's exactly why we went to, you know, McBride Racing, because they're pretty familiar with, you know, this, you know, the Fox platform itself, because they own Thunderbirds and they've worked on them quite a bit. So, you know, you got to look out for those torque boxes. And how you'll know is on the back of the torque box. Obviously, you'll see rips and tears in it. You know, a lot of people don't use your torque box as a jack stand. Use your frame rail. And if you use your frame rail, preferably something like a block. But yeah, definitely something bad right there. Give me another one. Number 3. What's up, 650? It's good to see you, brother. Okay. I'm going to give you one that we just talked about. Talked about the sunroof seal, right? So sunroof seal, sunroof clips, and somebody just mentioned it right here in the quarter panels. Now, I'm going to try to put that all on the board at once. I'm just going to put sunroof problems. Now, you guys in convertibles can go ahead and chime in as well. There's a lot of convertible problems as well. So sunroof problems, 110%. You know, you got the sunroof behind me with the seal, right? You got the clips up top that literally your sunroof will fly out of your car if you don't check this shit. You see me how easy it was to take the sunroof out. Literally, you pinch. Let me show you. And you know, we'll talk about, you know, hard body, you know, hard top and convertible stuff too. You know, if somebody wants to bring it up. But literally, if you got a sunroof, you know, this stuff is spring loaded here. So you see that? Clips back. It comes out and comes in really easy. So you can clip it out, clip it back in right here. And it just slides on these two little things right here. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up the sunroof again, sunroof seals, sunroof clips, because somebody just mentioned rear quarters. Right here, my black car is rotted right there. I cut it out. I don't have a quarter on either side of my car because my sunroof drain clogged. Like, I was having issues with my seal, okay, which we just fixed, right? I was having issues with the drainage, which was getting sand and garbage in it because the seal wasn't doing its job. And then where the drains, the rear seal, excuse me, the rear drains for the sunroof drain in the back of your quarter panels. So it's not uncommon. Peel that, you take that quarter panel out, look inside that pocket back here. I bet you got a ton of dirt and shit. And there's actually a couple little holes that factory put in there, little yeah, the little factory drainage holes that are probably clogged too, just in case you know, just for, you know, when there's condensation or wetness in the back of the car that it can get out. So what's up, Turbo Man 381? Sunroof problems, folks. And the same thing kind of goes with convertible. Convertible has a latch problem. The latches start to wear out. So they start to stretch. You know, you get the top will start getting water in between the top where it comes to the top of the windshield. You know, that weather stripping gets beat. I mean, you're talking, like I said, 35-plus-year-old stuff. This is stuff as they age, this shit's just going to get worse. You know, sunroof cars, you know, if you pick up a parts car or a project car, excuse me, that's a sunroof car, first thing you need to do is take that sunroof out, take an can of air or air hose or something, blow the damn sunroof stuff out. You know, there's 4 drains in each corner. Blow the sunroof out, change the seal, and go dig out all the crap that's been there for 35 years in the quarter panel and in the pillar. Crazy. Yep, windshield frame, yep. Rear hatch and seal around the hatch glass. So what that does is actually makes your hatch rattle. So like if your hatch is rattling, because it doesn't have a good seal on it anymore. It's just all the weather. I'm gonna tell you all the weather stripping. We're just gonna put that on there. There's a reason why Fox Days of Christmas, guys, I'm always giving away a bunch of damn seals, because legitimately outside of door handles, the shit just wears out like tires. Like I can guarantee you, if you haven't changed your weather seals at this point, I'm talking the door, sunroof, rear hatch, the convertible top. T-top's even worse. I mean, this, you know, if you pick up a project car, or you got a car sitting in your garage and you're staring at it and you love it, you wax it up and everything looks good, blah, blah, blah. I can guarantee you change those seals, it's going to change the way that car is. Leaky trunk. Yep. There's, I mean, the hatch too. So we're just going to put weather stripping, because legitimately weather stripping, I can't tell you enough. And it goes for the shit in the inside of the door too. All the rubber inside, like the window, like this crap right here, right inside here, all this seal, garbage. Like look at my black car. Look, it's ripped. Actually, I cut that out and put a piece in, but that whole thing is ripped up the side here. I need to change mine as well. It's terrible. And, you know, we don't think about this stuff because it costs money. And the only thing we give a shit about is going fast. Or, I mean, tell me I'm wrong, but I'm not entirely right. But, you know, you care about, you know, the wheels and stance and camshafts, and we don't give a damn about no weather seals. But you really should, you know, take a little time and change that stuff. Now, you know, we're going to do a lot more than just 10, right? So Yeah, we're going to get right into that, Tyler, for sure, Matt. Front seats. Shit, front seats got leans and padding, and I don't think I even own, I'm not going to lie to you, I own a lot of Foxbody seats. I don't think I own but maybe one or two that actually are decent driver seats. They're just always destroyed. Always. And it's kind of like, it's not really something, you know, weather stripping is kind of something you don't pay attention to. And that's really what I want to kind of go with the live stream, is stuff that you know, you're like, oh shit, I didn't think about that, you know, because you just don't pay attention to it. Seats are an obvious one because, I mean, you open the door and you see a seat and it looks like the padding's been beat out of it since 1992. You know, it's definitely, you know, it's definitely something of concern. I mean, they make aftermarket seat brackets, like Team Z has aftermarket seat brackets that you can just hard mount your actual like seat to the floor if you wanted to. They also make not Team Z, but there's multiple resto sites that actually have, you know, really good seat rails that are replacements. Sometimes you can find them, you know, on eBay or Facebook or something that's, you know, in good shape. The main thing about the seat, listen, let me tell y'all a little secret. The seat framing, like if you really don't want your seat, if you have good seat framing in your car right now, like right now, and shit's not broken, I guarantee you it's starting to crack. Right there where it's just sheet metal. It's not even very thick. It's like 16 gauge. It's like pinch weld. It's like pinched over and it's like curved. Okay. If you want your seat to last, your seat rails, gusset it. Like I did my turbo kit. Like if you watch the last video with us taking the white car's top end apart, guys, I've been beating the shit out of that on-3 kit for how many years now? And for me not to have any fatigue or cracking in metal is beyond me. But what we did do, and what I'm telling you to do with seat rails, I'm using an example, is we gusseted the turbo T4 flange, we re-welded all the way around it, all the way through the valley weld, and we armor plated the whole thing. That way it was super reinforced where the most pressure was at. Same thing for seat rails. You know, you got the seat rails that the seat slides on. Well, it curves down and then comes into like a flat, right? You know, that's where your 15 mils at. So what you want to do is you want to gusset that corner on both front and rear, and just literally just weld a little gusset on the corners. You could reinforce your seat rails. I mean, if you had a buddy who's decent with a welder, take 10 minutes. You can pull the whole seat out and do it with the seat there. I mean, I don't know if I would suggest welding around fabric, but it is what it is. You could fix them too. I mean, that's something you can do if they're not too rotted out. I have crusty tints on my rear window, but I'm spending many thousands to do. So I've had so many tints happen. Tinting is, if you're going to tint your Fox, you know, buy or use good tint. I don't know if it's the red dye in it. I know tint eventually all wears out over, you know, gets mixed up with the sun or whatever. But you know, I don't know how many tints I pulled off glasses that I've sold here on the, you know, on the job that were all purple, like literally were purple, like the Viking. It was crazy. So I have a nice sunroof car, except for the driver's door fell off. So that's one of the issues with sunroof. Like I said, sunroof problems. Number 3, like, again, these aren't in very particular order. We're just talking some shit here. So we're just going to continue, you know, just adding stuff to the list. Should be more like A, B, C, D, whatever, but we're going to go ahead and keep doing it in numeric order. But sunroof, that's just sunroof problems, because one of the drains is right there, you know, at the pillar. So I'm not sure, you know, really, you know, you got to check that pillar. Listen, that pillar inside behind your fender, okay? It's got that plastic, whatever. Yeah, splash guard. Behind that's got like sound deadening and all this other garbage. Like legitimately should probably be pulled out at this point. How do you get a cup? I got this from 417 Fox. You guys know Mike Johnson, 417 Fox. Big shout to him. Mikey Mike. He makes our hats here on the channel, and he's probably going to start making most of our merch. I know he's a busy guy, so it's tough to, tough to get him. He does merch for a lot of people. So, all right, give me number 5: strut towers, torque boxes, sunroof problems, which we talked about a little bit of convertible problems with the latches and the window seal in the front that kind of goes hand in foot with the sunroof. Hard top, you really wouldn't have a problem. There's not really much problem up there outside of. I will tell you this. Now, for you hard top coupe hatchback guys, underneath of your headliner, and this is the reason why I'm telling you this shit, underneath of the headliner, you have a brace bar, okay? And if you look at my coupe videos from my SSP, little did I know that the brace bar that I actually took from one of my parts cars, like there's actually body sealer that holds the brace. There's actually a brace. If you have a sunroof car and you're trying to turn it into a hard top car, that's not really all that big of a deal. You can do that pretty easy. I've actually cut and sold a number of actual hard tops where people actually deleted the whole sunroof because there's a brace that goes right there that even sunroof cars still have that would naturally be through the glass if it wasn't there. But that if your roof is wobbling, it's probably because the body sealer where the brace and the actual flimsy little roof meet. What you can do is drop your headliner and you can spray body sealer back in there and your roof won't wobble anymore. I don't know if anybody of you guys, I don't know if that helps somebody, but that's what we're here to do. So, I mean, I'm going to put roof wobble, and that's what I mean by that. You specifically for the hardtop guys, and this is pretty much for a lot of the Foxbody guys. So, roof wobble. And I didn't really discover that until I noticed it on my SSP when we had to rebuild like practically the whole damn roof. So like I said, to reiterate, underneath of your headliner hardtop, there's a brace bar that goes across. There's a body sealer there that comes loose and or breaks. And that's why your roof wobbles, because it'll just sit there and wobble between the old sealer that's not even attached anymore and the brace. So my tint was put on the previous owner, so I had no idea the age, but it needs replacing. My issue is that everyone wants to scrape the defrost lines. Yeah, that's tough to take off without taking some of that off. Fat Boy Fox, what's up? I had a seat turn into a rocking chair when I was trying. Yeah, that'll happen. What's up, Dan Watts Racing in the house? Good to see you, buddy. I was just talking about you earlier in the channel that we were gonna maybe talk some Cobra Foxbody shit about some junkyard. Maybe I don't know if you got a list of junkyard stuff for Cobra people. That would be cool to kind of like collaborate. You know, the what is that? New Edge? Is that right? It's not S197. What's is it just called? Is this called New Edge, right? 9904. Somebody help me out there. The driver is always the biggest problem. Don't overdrive. Never. Use steam to read. Oh, that's not a bad idea, Scott. What's up, Scott Turner? Is that my man Scott Turner down there in Tennessee? I see that car rolling out, boy. Headlights holding water. That's a good one. So, headlights. 10 areas. Let's talk about headlight problems, because there's more than just one problem with that headlight. Guys, you buy a Foxbody this day and age, 35, 40 years old, 9 times out of 10, their headlight's going to suck. They look garbage. They're either cracked, they're faded in the amber spot. There's issues. So we'll say headlights. Headlight problems. And matter of fact, speaking of headlight problems, that's what Dan was just telling me about on his Cobra. Something about his headlight didn't fit or something. I don't know. You were talking about that when we were down there in up there in Michigan. I was in the shadow watching. I got you. So we're going to probably set up a whole live stream for that, Dan. You know, Cobra versus Foxbody. I think that would be really cool. Headlight problems. So if you bought a Foxbody, have a Foxbody that hasn't had the headlights addressed already, and you actually have some really nice headlights in there, you probably want to go scuff those and just seal them with another can of 2K Clear or something. Because I'm going to guarantee you that eventually that glue and or whatever is going to get, it's just going to fall apart. Like, this is the age we're in. I mean, these cars, you can't expect two pieces of plastic glued together is going to last forever, especially in a car that vibrates as much as these cars do. You know, whether it's being engine camshaft or just driving shit out of it. So headlight problems, bucket. In the back of a headlight, there's a bucket. Buckets like to crack. It throws the whole alignment off. The nice thing about buckets is they're adjustable. So first headlight problem I would tell you is the buckets on the back are cracked. Headlight adjustments out, headlight clip and or broken. If you got a wobbly headlight, you got a bucket problem. What I mean by that is you unscrew the 3 7/16 buckets, bolts in the back, whatever, unplug your main headlight beam, pull the damn light out, and there's a bucket, okay, that attaches to all of them. I don't even think you can buy these new anymore, but some headlights come with them, some don't. And there's little clips that just clip it in. Now you could actually take the bucket off of the headlight, and there's like a Phillips there that you could actually adjust where the beam goes. So if you really got savvy with it, you could actually have it so you can take your headlight in and out really quick, and you could set your car's beams like just staring at like a garage door, right, at night or in the evening or something. You know, because you might have one headlight that's up, one headlight that's down. You might be all over the damn place. Most people don't care. But like high beams and regular beams, especially when you put LEDs in, kind of makes a difference. You know what I mean? So buckets being broken behind it, the seal on the headlights are broke, starting to weather, which means that, the glue is starting to come loose. It's getting water inside of them. To be honest with you, I really think that all headlights should have a couple of drill holes in the bottom of it where you don't see, or in the corners where you don't see, just to get a little bit of air in there, just to kind of make sure that during the heat or the cold or any sort of inclement weather, they don't keep heat inside of them or keep condensation or whatever. So, headlights that are yellowed, literally can be restored. I mean, if you have a good functional headlight, no matter what shape it's in, as long as it's not broken, cracked, or garbage, you can restore it. The corner lights really kind of suck because the amber part of the corner light starts to fade. That amber actually fades out. So finding really good corner lights, if you find them in a junkyard, you find them at like a swap meet or something, buy them. So they're probably cheap anyways, but that corner light's always a bitch. I mean, that thing is always broken and or faded or whatever. So headlight problems, boys. I mean, Foxbody has 6 headlights, so 3 on each side. It's not like it's a one piece. I'm with you, Scott. I think they're looking for an easy way out. I have a heavy duty steamer. Droopy tag on rear bumper cover. Oh, okay. So that's a good one, man. I'm going to go ahead and go with that, Fox Life. I like it. Number 7. And this probably goes for all genres of Mustangs that have a rear bumper, including SN95 and New Edge and whatever. Let's just call it up to 04 because that's when Foxbody, the cool Foxbody platform ended. Anyways, guarantee you that rear bumper brace is rotted, bent, or falling out. Not so much in the South, but they get warped. It's kind of a really bad design. I'm not going to lie to you. A lot of the rear bumper cover right on the top. Now, and this happens for LXs too. Bumper. Damn it. Trying to write crooked. Bumper brace. Like, legitimately, tell me I'm wrong here. That bumper brace is always bent to shit. If you look at my bumper over here, I still got a wave in it. I got a new one in, but that's a Cobra aftermarket bumper, and it doesn't have the lip on it. If you look underneath of your bumper, you're just now getting into Foxbodies like we've been talking about. Probably that shit is bent or needs replaced. You're gonna put a new bumper on it because it's usually probably got some exhaust holes in it or something. Man, back 20 years ago, that was the cool thing to do. Put some big old 3-inch holes in the back of the bumper on GTs, and then make them bring the exhaust through. How many of y'all did that? Don't lie. They used to also cut them like put like a little U in the corners. Don't lie. What's up, Jeff Williams? Good to see you. Walmart used to sell a steamer that was budget friendly to remove window tint. I didn't even know that you could use a steamer. I guess I never really thought about that. Maybe just using like a hairdryer or something, just kind of peel the tint off. Might get it hot for whatever reason. Door handles, yes. So door handles are an obvious one. I'm trying to get some of the, that's a good one, KP, for sure. Trying to get some of the stuff in here on this list that wouldn't be obvious. Door handles, like I have metal door handles on my black Fox behind me and in my white Fox, but I've seen them with plastic ones. They're just always a menace. I know that LMR sold those door handles. They're like shaved or whatever. I guess they're kind of cool, but I don't really get into that look. Does that make any sense? So, yeah. Is it hard to remove freeze plugs from the back of the heads toward firewall? Yeah. I mean, you have to pull the heads off. What's up, Ramon? What's going on? 216. Here's his big shout out to Ramon. He's the one who actually sent me this whiteboard. We done wore this shit out, brother. You can also use Windex in a black garbage bag and let it sit in the sun to dry, and the tint will come off. Really? Yes. Good one, Dave. Steering wheel wobble. I actually did a video about this. Now, this is really more aimed towards 87, 89. The reason why, I mean, 90, 93, if your steering wheel's wobbles, most likely you probably got a problem with your bearings inside of your actual, it's not adjustable inside of your airbag style, column. You might need to replace the whole column. But like 87, 89 had a two-piece. It had tilt to it, so it had teeth on it. You have to check the teeth, and we're going to put that in here. Put teeth too, because on a tilt, yeah, we're going to get to that. On the tilt, the teeth on the tilt would actually chip off, like from people just pulling on the wheel too much, pulling it up, pulling it down, whatever. There's 2 bolts. You have to take the multi-function switch off. You don't even have to unplug it. Just make sure the car's off. There's 2, I want to say they're 1/2-inch bolts behind the multi-function switch. You want to pull one out and put some blue Loctite on it, put it back in. I guarantee you, if you have steering wheel problems with 87, 89, specifically tilt, which is a majority of those cars, then that's the reason why it's wobbling. So I did a whole video on it. So we're actually going to add that right now, Rusty. This is probably my #1 safety. And I talk about this actually all the time. This almost got me in an accident about 20 years ago. And let me explain. I talked about it before. I think we have one here in the wall. Your steering, like Foxbody steering sucks to begin with. I guarantee if your car's got a couple 100,000 miles or 100, 150,000 miles and you haven't done a aftermarket, steering rack or whatever, your rag joint, This is what the column connects to. These U-joints, you can see these U-joints are, this actually came out of my white car. This U-joint's actually messed up right here. This is a dangerous thing right here. These things rip really bad. Rag joints. Get rid of this shit. Just get rid of it. Get a solid knuckle one. Just get rid of it. I've seen a number of cars actually get wrecked because of that. And I drove a car home about 20 years ago. See, I hit an RV when my rag joint broke. That thing sucks. At least if you're not gonna replace it with a knuckle, because the damn things are like $280, then do yourself a favor and at least service the rag joint. Like, I hate that thing. That thing causes more slop in a steering column than anything that I can think of. I mean, outside of the U-joints like being bad. Like, that one's actually a good example, because we actually did that. We took that rag joint out of my white car in a video, and if you remember how bad it was, I mean, it was just like, dude, I'm going $150 plus in this car. I got a damn rag joint on there. I'm like, what am I doing? So we haven't actually pulled it out of the black car yet either. So I'm over here preaching to myself too. And it's a good reminder. I mean, it sucks. Those things are like $280, man. I also have steering wheel wobble. From my understanding, the hole in the steering wheel can oblong, causing slack. That's correct. Yep, multi-function switch. So another thing I want you guys to do, and we've talked about this on the channel, but it's always really good to reiterate. Because, you know, now that we have 30,000 subscribers, there's a lot more subscribers to the channel than the last time I probably addressed this, you know, with the hazards and stuff. Because we're going to go back to that. We're going to actually have working live streams like this where you know, to kind of teach and show some of the people that are just now getting into the channel, our channel specifically on live streams, you know, to like let them know that, you know, it's, with podcast shit out now where I can convert this to a podcast as well. It's always a good thing as well, so I can show, you know, have the information out there. So, but number 10, GT switch. Okay, so your headlight switch, specifically, you guys, with GT switches. So we're going to talk about a little bit of wiring, because this is the shit that nobody's paying attention to until your car's sitting in a ball of flames. Take your damn headlight switch out and check it. Takes 2 minutes. All you need is a screwdriver. Like, don't pry it out, but there's actual clips behind it. It's not that hard. GT specific. Now, I will tell you that LX would be the same thing. You see that? Yeah. Try to write big enough and bold enough that you can read it. Headlights, you know, headlight switch. Dude, holy shit. The GT headlight, and I don't know if it's the same for other cars like SN and New Edge. Anybody who owns one can maybe chime in or whatever, but the headlight switch, I've literally taken them out of cars, like dash harnesses where we restored them and sold them, where the headlight switch was literally melted. Like, I don't even know how it still worked. And specifically with GT cars, it's probably one of my #1 pet peeves with the harnesses. Is something that you need to look for, because your car would be sitting there asleep in the garage, and I don't want to scare y'all, but I mean, you're talking live wires that can just melt in plastic, and just, what happens then? I don't know. Your battery melts down and burns the whole car up. It's super easy to check. Did we get an ad? What are they doing? Like, they just changed the way, like, you know, I turned the monetization on, but then they got all these extra options now. So let me change that so you guys don't get that. I don't know why it's doing an ad in the middle of my live stream. That makes no sense. Hang on a second, bear with me. Like, they just changed the whole thing. Let me see if that helps. Let me know if that happens. You guys, let me know if that ad happens, especially in the middle of the live, because like I said, they've been changing. Like, I don't know if you guys know this or not, but I'll be able to convert this live to a podcast as well, which I'm going to do. So they've been changing kind of the way the monetization and the way the ads are popping up inside of these lives and podcasts. So, you know, bear with me if you see that stuff. I don't intentionally do any of that live. Like if you're watching this or listening to it after it's live, then it's going to happen automatically. So I do apologize if it happened and, you know, while it was live. Anyways, GT headlight switch, 100% piece of shit. I'm not going to lie to you. Like, it's not really difficult to pull it out. And, you know, you just look behind the switch. There's two little clips. You push the clips in, headlight pops out, or headlight switch pops out. And then, I mean, you're not going to hurt anything. Nothing's going to break. Pull it out and check the big plug, which I think I probably have one that's all jacked up to show you. If it's not messed up, leave it alone. But keep an eye on it. Son of a bitch. I usually try to keep a little bit of little props around, but apparently I must be missing it. Whatever. You guys get the point. What you're looking for is a plastic that's warped, burned, or cracked. So that's what you're looking for. I did an ad on my TV, but not on my phone. Super weird. I don't know why it's doing that. So I do apologize. Anyways. TFI module's a good one. We're going to stick with wiring, and I'm only going to give you a couple of the major ones with wiring. I don't want to really get it. Wiring could be its own discussion all the way around. So GT headlight switch. What's a really good one that's wiring issue? Now I would say AC wide open throttle. We're going to go with that one. AC watt. About 80% of you Foxbody guys out there, I guarantee you that wire right there is stripped, cracking, falling apart, or melted. 100%, 75%, 80%. 4 out of 5 Foxbodies. Go out there and look at it. AC wide open throttle relay is found right next to your mass air plug. Also next to your... I'm going to give you one more wiring thing, and then we're going to stop with the wiring because that's a whole nother conversation. And we've actually done it here on the channel, but we haven't done it in like a year and a half, so we're going to revisit it. AC watt is next to your mass air meter, where if you have an airbag car, it's where your airbag is over by your mass air meter, basically right where your O2 harness plugs in. So if you know where that's at, it's that relay right there. Now on 9293s, you got multiple relays. Not to be confused, 9293 really didn't have this problem. They kind of rectified it, and they didn't tell nobody. I'm sure it had something to do with some sort of freaking recall and shit. But 8791 guarantee 80% of them. 4 out of 5 Foxbodies that haven't had their wiring touched guarantee you that the AC wide open throttle. I mean, literally, I think it's the pink and black wire, pink and white wire. Was it pink and blue? It's the hot wire. I mean, that whole thing, you could literally probably run your fingers over the wire and it just crumble. I mean, and you're talking about live wires that are just like hanging around metal shit. So big problem. My supervisor had hired me at UPS 27 years ago, had an 88 GT ignition switch caught fire. So that's where we're at. Good one. That was my next one. Now, this one's also a pretty easy one to check. Ignition switch. Now, it doesn't matter if you have a 9093 or an 8789. Your ignition switch is found underneath of all your bezels. And literally, if you have a Phillips screwdriver, you can take the bezels off really quick and just unclip them. Your ignition switch has 2 tamper-proof gold. I don't even know the size. Don't ask me. I don't know. But they are tamper-proof, so you will need the tamper-proof bit to get them out, if I'm not mistaken. But if your ignition switch moves at all, and like there's a little rod in there that actually catches on your, your ignition, so when your ignition turns or whatever, probably want to. Now, as far as replacements are concerned, There's a lot of really good replacements to put in there, but ignition switch legitimately will burn your car down. GT headlight switch will burn your car down. And you won't even know what happened. You'll be like, I don't even know what happened. Like, why is my car sitting in a ball of flames? This shit. You're welcome. Go out to your car. If you haven't messed with your car, don't know anything about it, haven't at least looked at it. It takes 2 minutes to look at this stuff. Now, at that point, you probably want to rectify the situation, especially with the GT headlight switch. The ignition switch will definitely has been a culprit of more cars getting burnt than you can imagine. On top of batteries getting overloaded from wires that have melted together like the ignition switch, and there's your battery blows up in front of in the engine bay. So I have 84 T-top. The locking arm came loose off the handle and caused the driver T-top to come loose and rattle. Damn. Yeah, that's actually a good idea, Trent. So I'm going to go ahead and mention that. Legit, I probably don't have the right one. I don't know. Somebody's going to, oh, Neo, you ain't got the right one. You're not talking to. But, I bought one. It's always good to have these around. Just a little cheap one. I don't even know if this is automotive. They actually have automotive ones. This is a good buy, boys. It's like $15, bro. This could save your Foxbody. You know what I mean? I just keep it in the back. You can mount these on cages and shit. I mean, I don't even think this is a car one, but at least it'll work. I don't know. Maybe. Whatever. Extinguishers. $15 insurance that your car's not going to burn up in front of you. So, son of a, this thing's about to go off on my. Dan, you cursed me, Dan Watts. What's wrong with you, bro? You cursed me. That's because I have his front plate. I hope he didn't drop the transmission on him, because last time he told me, I made him laugh. He was under the car and he literally dropped shit in his head or whatever. I don't know. Explains a lot. Anyways, I have these in all my cars. My white car, actually the white car I don't race with it because it's not mounted, but it's right there on the trailer. Well, I street drive my black car quite a bit now. Like, I'm not interested in racing this car at all. And I think that my dad's got one in his. I think cousin Paul's got one in Sandy's ride. So I think ABC. I don't know. Somebody had mentioned something before. I don't know if we even have the right one, but hey, I got something. It's always good to have a. That's a good one, man. That's good, Trent. This Foxbody fire time. Look, I don't know how many Foxbodies I know that have literally, I would rather tell you that it's a possible issue versus, watching your, hearing you say that, seeing it on the internet. You know what I mean? That hey, my car, burned to the ground for whatever reason. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to make sure that Oh, what's up, Roy? ABC's fine, but you get the CO2 charged. You won't make a mess. Okay. Welcome back, man. I haven't seen Roy in forever. Welcome back to the channel membership too, brother. I haven't seen you in a while. Let me make sure that my settings for my audio are good. Oh, shit. I had the wrong one. I'm about to switch it up, boys. Oh, boy. Let's see if this works. Let's see if it sounds better. Oh, so much better. Sorry about that. You probably had seat belts, ditch them for the harness. So 13. We're just going to keep filling it up. Give me something. 10 areas of concern. Strut towers, torque boxes, sunroof problem. Had about 15 of those problems. Weather stripping, all of them. Roof wobble. This is shit that you don't normally get from other videos. This is stuff that, from the years, 20 years of me messing around with Foxbodies that I've seen, that just random garbage that you just like, why does my roof wobble? Well, that's why. Headlight problems. There's all kind of, why's my headlight pointing toward the ceiling? Heater core is a pretty given one. Clutch quadrant, that's actually, we're gonna put actually I'm gonna do clutch quadrant, cable, and AOD shifter. All right, here we go. Pay attention. T5 and AOD guys, here we go. We talked about strut. That was like the first one, Super Dave. Shifter, cable, clutch, and quad. You see that? Hell no. Son of a. Maybe I should have used like red. It might have came in better. I don't know. I just changed my lights in the shop and I made it super bright. Cable, quad. All right, we'll just go cable and quad. You guys get it. So, T5 cable, I guarantee that your factory clutch cable is stretched. Now, also, your factory clutch cable mount that mounts it to the firewall, its bushing's probably junk. Which leads me to the quadrant. In a stick shift car is two pieces, which is really kind of a bad scenario because there's like teeth on the two pieces and they get wore out. Like it'll self-adjust or whatever the hell you want to call it. Best thing for you to do with a stick shift car is if you're doing a T5 or a clutch swap or doing something maintenance-wise on your stick car, clutch quad and cable is a very, very common and very sought-after change in your Foxbody. And this isn't just Foxbodies, but when I say Foxbodies, I mean all the way up to 04. I'm not a hydraulic clutch cable guy. I'm a mechanical clutch cable guy. So changing your quadrant to a like a 2 or a 3 tooth and having the hooks, the long hooks, having a firewall adjuster, which is literally like a mount for your cable. Like it takes the whole rubber bushing out of your cable and you literally can adjust your cable and stretch right there at the firewall. And then I recommend if you're going to change a clutch cable on a Foxbody, I would go ahead and, obviously I'm going to tell you to call Hanlon Motorsport, and for good reason. Bob Hanlon, Bangin' Bob, you guys know him. He's a legend in the stick shift community. He told me years ago, he's like, if you're going to run big headers, aftermarket exhaust, or turbo headers and all that shit, he's like, you should probably just go ahead and run the SN95 cable, which is about 10 inches longer than a Foxbody cable. How many of you guys with stick shift cars had that cable literally sit right next to your header and wrap right around underneath of the motor mount? Like there's not a whole lot of throw there. And like there's a lot of heat that causes that cable to not only melt inside, but then it causes friction and causes it to stretch. What's nice about an SN95, New Edge, whatever cable is they're longer. You can literally unclip the bracket from an SN95 cable and clip the Foxbody bracket in, and you can actually route it more of a throw, which gives it a cleaner throw on and gets it away from the heat and shit. So I know I kind of went off on a tangent, but that's really a common problem with T5s. People missing gears, people, people pissed because the adjustment's not right. If you just go out and get 100, I think it's $100. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, Hanlon.
I think it's like $100. You get a clutch quad cable set. Say, hey, I want to get the SN95 one that Neo uses. It's the same price. I would even recommend wrapping it in heat wrap to keep it away from heat. So I'm off my tangent now, but that's a real big problem. Clutch, cable stretch, quadrant failure. I mean, that's stick shift stuff. I mean, at this age, that shit's all going to fail eventually anyways. But let's go to the AOD. And what I've learned on Cousin Paul and Sandy's car and over the years is the AOD cable comes out of adjustment, and there's a clip at the bottom that goes onto the actual, shift lever or whatever you want to call it. So this big bracket that's underneath for V8, mainly for V8, because I think 4-cylinder is a little bit different bracket. But if you look at the bottom of the shifter, there's a big metal bracket on an AOD. And then, your cable comes down, bolts to it, and it goes up to the AOD, and it clips into the actual lever. There's just a little clip there that holds the damn cable in place. And all that can get rotted and rusty or whatever, and can cause your car not to go into first, second, drive, whatever. I don't know. So big issues with cables and quadrants. And, this is stuff like, hey, I'm going to look at that because I watched Neo's live stream. Just take a peek at it. You can replace this stuff, and it makes worlds of difference. You know what I mean? And it's stuff that's going bad and you don't even know. I mean, outside of the obvious. So door pins are definitely something. It's kind of more of an obvious thing. Door pins are a pain in the ass to replace, sort of. I know they're not easy, and I haven't done some in a while, thank God. But door pins and door handles are just common. And what I'm seeing a lot of is door handle rods, because it means you have to go inside and actually, change the rod that the handle, because it's all bent up from where it was all jacked up or whatever. So yeah, there's so many things to talk about, guys. I mean, I could sit here all night talking Foxbody shit, but I wanted to really get into like some of the most major. I mean, and this is something that we're going to continue to talk about. I mean, I'll make sure that I don't revisit this stuff that we've already talked about. I mean, there's just things all over your Foxbody at this point that literally need to be changed. I'm gonna add another one that I just thought about, and we talk about this. We talk about this on the channel all the time. Is your bushings, all of them. Now, this is for all the Foxbodies up to 04. And what I mean by bushings is your rear axle bushings on your control arms, your front axle or front control arm bushings, your ball joints. I'm going to put ball joints there. A lot of people that, get these cars, they don't pay attention to that shit. That ball joint could be dry as a bone inside and it's getting ready to break. Bushings and ball joints. Obviously, you go into more of a race setup. You go into more of a spherical Heim joint set. You get more of a harsher ride, of course, but you don't have to worry too much about any sort of play in the bushing and stuff. They make a DEI shield for it. For what? Stock quad. And is that a stock quad? Yes. Tire outdated. Fuel pump wiring. Okay. I'm thinking about mounting my extinguisher on the metal panel behind the back seat. Metal panel. Oh, you mean the actual seat itself? Yeah, man. I appreciate that, Bama. Appreciate that. You guys didn't see another ad, did you? Did I fix that? All right, let's give away a banner real quick. Is Hanlon still in the house? On the door handle replacement, do you use rivets or bolts? I use bolts. Another electrical issue I had in mind is the map lights and vanity lights. Okay, so that's a good one that we're going to talk about, TJ, on another live stream. sun visors, parasitic loss. We're going to talk about parasitic loss on a future live stream. I mean, we're going to revisit all this shit. I mean, there's a lot of parasitic loss inside of a Foxbody itself. My 96 had a worn steering rack. When I got it, it amazed me how much play Mustangs I drove that had a worn rack. Jeez. So we're going to give away one of the 2 banners that we're going to give away tonight. It just sucks to ship them. Like $10 a piece. You'd think I'd be able to get them for first class, but they're too heavy. So give away some garage swag tonight. This is the first one of 2. You guys see this on back of my garage door. Yep, 6-foot handling banner, big shot to handling. 5 foot, because you know I ain't tall, right? So, all right, hashtag handling for the garage swag. We'll let this run for a minute. I can still read the comments while you guys. So hashtag hashtag handling for the banner. It's free. I'll ship it to you. Give you the email address. I know I got chat lag, so there's gonna be a gazillion things pop up here. Why is that so blurry? I don't know why my StreamYard is so laggy when it comes to chat. So I'm sorry if I missed some of you guys' questions like late. We do have another banner to give away as well. So we will do that. We grab some tape so I put a name on it. So I grabbed a couple like prop items that we were talking about. Like this is a quad. This is just an aftermarket cheapie, whatever. I mean, it'll work. But the factory Foxbody one is plastic and has 2 pieces on it. This will definitely take care of business for sure. So I seen this sitting on my table back there. I wanted to show you guys. If you have a Foxbody that has a really shitty fuel gauge that doesn't want to work, or it's all over the damn place, or it goes up and goes down and goes up and goes down, this is the slosh thing that goes on the back of the cluster. So if you're having fuel gauge issues, this is probably one of the issues that you have. What this is supposed to do is slow down the signal. Okay. This is supposed to slow down the signal of, because your fuel level inside of your tank's always moving, right? And then you got the little float back there that sends the signal to this slosh. What this is supposed to do is slow it down so it doesn't move. If your gauge is all the way empty or all the way full or moving all over the place, it's probably your slosh gauge in the back of your cluster. So I wanted to show you that because I had it sitting out. Hashtag handler. Here we go. Let me pick a person. Oops. Let me go down. Where did we get them all? Hope I'm not chat lagging here. Good. I need some swag, buddy. Hashtag Hamlin. Here we go. MJP. Congratulations, brother. MJP. Let's just do a random. I can't do random order over here, though. So we're gonna try to do this like every live stream. If I can get more banners, that would be cool. I don't know how much they are, but you know, it is what it is. It's giving something back to you guys. You know what I mean? So if you win the banner, Neo Mustangs at Hotmail. That's also the email for merch if you want to get in on some merch. I'm terrible. I hate writing sideways. Anyways, moving on. So MJP, congratulations. Hit me up in the email, and I will get this out to you tomorrow, whatever. I usually send this shit priority, so you know it's $8 or $9. Not a big deal. Jimmer, you got 2, haven't you? You won twice, I think. I just had to throw away my Ford Motorsports banner. Heat killed the Bama. Heat's no joke. No kidding. So what else do we have? The torque boxes on the list. Yes. The list is right here. This is what we got going on tonight. So let's talk real quick. We'll continue adding to the list, obviously. So the 410 Windsor, we do not have our cylinder heads yet. So if you guys are just now joining the channel, we stick shift race our white car sitting over here on the lift, and we've had a head gasket issue for a while. And one of the issues we figured out is we popped more than one cylinder hole in the car. It was you're going to see the in the last video we talked about on Saturday night. I'll bring it up real quick. Oops, hang on a second. We ended up popping a cylinder head in multiple spots. And, I'm a big advocate on if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But after doing some apologies, guys, my apologies. I actually messed up the internet. I actually hit the cable. It was my fault. You guys good? Okay. Hey, Neo, I raced yesterday. Stick shift had 50 cars. I went 0-1-2 red, third round, but had a blast with friends. Hell yeah, man. All right, Bama, it's good to see you, man. I appreciate you stopping in. So, where are we at here? So yeah, we
Well, that's not a good start.
The other one didn't look that bad, right? you get a chance to watch this video, we actually went through the top end of this, and you can see here, I went actually to the main or the machine shop.
So this would have been.
So this one here is the one that let
number
let
5.
a little bit of compression.
That's number
out.
5, and number 6
Maybe a little
actually
there.
lifted.
It should have looked like this. That's what it's supposed to look like.
Yeah, it's supposed to look
So
clear.
number.
But if you go back and look at the other head part of my head gasket, we actually, like, I guess, pushed it. You guys seeing this, right? This is the actual file that I uploaded to YouTube. So I think I pushed it. It was like a thermal push or something like that. Something happened right there. That's number 4 on the back side. So that's the reason why we pulled those heads off, and the fact that the springs legitimately were not right. They've been on there for like 4 years. So I wanted to show you guys, what had happened with the 410 and the reason why half of its parts sitting there on the floor. But legitimately, that's where we're at with it. We still don't have our heads back yet. I know Dave is working pretty hard on, getting the heads finished for me. But, it's not looking good. So I got a big race this weekend. We'll be seeing you at No Prep Mania. You're going to see me anyways for show. Big shout to Stripper Glitter. What's going on, Steve? I appreciate you stopping in, man. Lifting heads or gaskets are sweet. Yeah, I mean, you're the king at that. So it didn't affect the compression test. So in that video, we went through all 8 cylinders, and for whatever reason, we lifted a head, but it didn't affect my compression test. Does that sound right, Dan? I've got a question. Does everyone crank until the gauge stops climbing, or give it a certain amount of compression strokes? I actually just kept cranking on it to make sure I did it right. I don't know. Who's the guy on 347 stroke calling you out? I don't know. So as far as the black car is concerned, we just fixed the turbo on the black car. I'll show you this real quick for you guys that haven't been able to watch any of the videos. Yeah, I don't know what happened. That wasn't actually internet. That was StreamYard. So let me go ahead and let it come back here. It just went out. I had internet. I don't know what the hell's going on. Anyway, going back to the black car. If I could get the right box. Why'd it go to that video? Always preaching about on the channel is get your shit off the jack stand. So hopefully today we're going to be able to get our black turbo Foxbody, which is our daily driver street car, and it's been in up for the last couple weeks because we've been switching between turbos. We're hopefully here to rectify that today. Stick around as we are going to actually put So we ended up putting a On3. This is really cool because On3 actually
What you have is probably
sold me
kind of
the
an older one.
cartridge of the turbo. You can see they actually sold the center section. We actually have a rebuild kit, like a $20 rebuild kit from Amazon that I'm going to rebuild the old turbo with and probably give it away or whatever. But we ended up putting this turbo on the black car, as you see here. We actually had to use the housing. On3 actually gave me the housing. So that was really cool. So we ended up getting it put on, and it was kind of a pain in the ass. And I'm not going to lie to you. There was one point in this video I was churching it up, boys. Legit.
And a little bit with the drain and such.
Be honest with you guys, I was not motivated to do this project at all today.
But this is
After
what I'm
going
always
through
talking about.
This mess
Get your
yesterday,
shit
whole top
fixed.
end of the motor
Get off
being
the gas
tore
stand.
apart. You know, this is what we talk about on the channel, you know, buy once, cry once, and get your shit off the jack stands.
So anyways, this is what we did last week with the black car. We got this new 7875 On3. This had an actual billet wheel on it. We started tuning a little bit this past weekend. It was pretty cool. It was a little rich because the precision turbos, obviously the compressor map's a little bit different. So we ended up going for a ride with it. We actually drove it a couple 100 miles this past week. And yeah, that's the update on the black car. So super happy to have that damn thing back on the road. Anyways, so where are we at on a time crunch? Like I had just been saying, like we don't have our cylinder heads back. I mean, I got a no prep mania event this weekend, 7.5. It's a points race for you guys that don't know what I'm talking about. In collaboration with Tremec and Neo here on the channel, we're giving away a T56 Magnum for a points series, and we'll probably try to do this again next year. I can't really speak for Tremec right now, but they may or may not be interested in doing that again next year with our stick shift stuff here in Ohio. So I'd like to get some of you boys down there in the South to come up. Or, you know, I already got some of the guys from Michigan in to come in, and I got a couple of guys from New York coming in. But definitely would like to see some of the no prep crowd a little bit south, you know, make it worth your while to come up, not only, you know, bang gears for some money and, you know, and some prizes, but the, you know, point series towards a transmission. So, I mean, I know it's only $3,500 or $4,000, but I mean, it's a free fucking transmission, dude, you know? So what's up, Alex? I appreciate you from Puerto Rico. Good to see you. What's it mean if cylinder goes 170 in 3 strokes, but another one takes 6? I never thought of it like that. So maybe an issue building PSI with rings or valve springs seating. You know, I did find about, and I will mention this with the white car, I did find about 3 or 4 of the seats were shit. Matter of fact, I'm going to go ahead and tell you guys, we ordered all new valves. Like, we weren't happy with any of them. There was a taper. It was about a 1 thou taper in the intake valve and about a 1.5 to almost 2 in the exhaust. Here's the really cool part that we're going to talk about in the video coming up is we actually purchased oversized Ferrara valves, and we'll be able to actually reutilize the intake guide that's kind of wore out a little bit. We'll be able to actually make the guide fit the valve, which will make it nice and like new and tight and straight again. So we're going to address the seats. That's what actual Dave, the mad scientist, is doing right now. He not only tunes with me with the cars, but he's got his own state-of-the-art machine shop, and he does a lot of cylinder head shit. So he's going to be doing, we're going to put all new valves in it. We're going to be redoing the seats, or at least setting the seats with the new valves. The guides will be pretty much, they're the older ones, but they'll be pretty much brand new because they'll be honed out, and all new double springs. And we're going 225 500 from open closed, if you guys know what I'm talking about, almost like a solid roller spring. And we already have HLT limited travels in there, and they're already working like solid rollers anyways under wide open throttle. So we think that's going to be a great combo. And we think that motor will, you know, it'll pick its pet back up. I'll be super excited to see what that car does, boy. I mean, we were going we made some good time with that car, but it seems like, just knowing that the car's been on 3.5 years of the same valve spring just tells me that the thing's whooped. Hey, Neo like Neo says, get your stuff off the jack stand. I had so much fun yesterday at the track, going a few rounds. That's what it's all about. I mean, I try to tell my buddy, I try to tell my buddy Dan Watts sitting here in the Ferrara. What did you say? Whatever. So, what tracks hold stick shift events? D team, listen, and I know Stripper Glitter's right here in the actual chat because I seen him pop in here, and I know Jason Lizer, who is Race Life Photos. Jason Lizer is the part of the D Team Racing, and Stripper Glitter is the company that, in collaboration with D Team, same people. D Team's the LLC that I can say it like that. I don't know, maybe wrong, but D Team is the one who holds the event. So to give you an idea, Gabe, D Team actually comes out with a schedule every year here in Ohio. And we're, like I said, I told y'all we're spoiled here. This company has a schedule of 10 races that they run at different tracks. Some of them are back halves. Some of them are front halves. Some of them are 8th mile only. Some of them are a little sketchy. Some of them are really good. There's also a couple outside of D Team that they throw as well, like Uncaged in the World Series of No Prep that Josh Robinson and OGR, Ohio Grudge Racing, which you were at. That wasn't a points race, but that's a really big one. You see what I mean? They do a lot of back half, big money stuff. So there's a lot of shit going on in Ohio if you guys are trying to get into a little bit of hard tire or stick shift, no prep. And there's even some front half races that I would suggest you at least to try, if you don't want to, the thing about no prep is a lot of people get it all, hey, I don't want to race no prep because it's no prep and I'll wad my car up. Well, if you know how to drive your car, you're not going to wad your car up. I'm gonna tell you that right now. I know things happen, but you get a little squirrely, you get out of it, you let the race go. It's just what you do. Some of these races, like the stoplight race that Brandon Cirillo actually throws over here at Quaker once a year at September, it's a really good one to at least go try. The Cumley front half that D Team throws at the beginning of the year, really good front half to go try no prep. It's the safer, I guess you want to call it, of the no prep that you're going to see. I think Pacemakers is a really fast track and it sticks really well after a few rounds. But, I don't want to encourage you to do something that you're not going to feel like you're safe at. But no prep gets a bad rep for not being any prep. But yet everybody's literally littering traction compound 600 feet. So I don't know what happened to my chat. Maybe I'm just talking and everybody's just listening. Anyways, let me go ahead and give away this other banner. We'll go over this list one more time. Again, stick shift stuff, guys, go follow, D Team Racing. They're on Facebook. They do a lot of stuff. They promote a lot of stuff more on Facebook than they do on Instagram or whatever. Be honest with you, go follow them up. You'll see what they promote. Most of the, they like I said, they do 10 races a year. What I did is me and Mike Kidd at Tremec decided that we're going to make a point series and we're going to give away the sponsor box. And I'm going to give away this T56 Magnum here in about 2 months. And right now, Cody Hartman's in the lead. I can't win it. All I'm there to do is play ringer. We are going to make a trophy though. So big shout out to Jerry Barrett. A lot of stuff going on, man. Just a lot of stuff. It's cool shit. It's race shit. It's fun. What aluminum heads, roller cam, and intake do you guys recommend for a stock bottom end? You could go as cheap as GT40 heads and intake in stock cam with rockers, or you can go E-cam. You can throw pretty much anything at a stock bottom end to any walker, and it'll probably work just well. So, all right, we got a Tremec banner to give away. Hashtag Tremec. This banner giveaway is courtesy of Tremec, Mike Kidd at Tremec. So I appreciate Mike and Tremec for what they do for us here on the channel for show. Hashtag Tremec, boys. Smells like a banner. Hashtag Tremec. I'll let it run for a minute because I know chat lags. Make sure I got everybody in it. 6-foot banner. I don't know why chat's lagging so much. If you previously won a Tremec banner, I'd appreciate you didn't go in. Let somebody else win one. What am I doing? I gotta fold this. I'd like to get a couple Team Z ones for next week. Maybe I can hit up Viking to send me a couple. I got one more McLeod left. Little garage swag, boys. Might not be stick shift in your car, but it's still pretty cool shit. Yeah, I definitely think Team Z will probably send me a handful of them. They got a couple other ones too. Anyone ever had a stock proportioning valve stick and cause front brakes to lock up? Yeah, stock proportioning valves need to be gutted and cleaned often. Now, you'd be surprised how much shit gets inside of a stock proportioning valve. All you have to do, just pay attention to the way the spring goes in. So. Super Dave, check your email. Would you consider building an OEM stock Foxbody? You mean like a resto? Yes. Resto mod more than resto. Because a full restoration would be crazy. Be something I don't know if I'd be interested in. I got you, Mike, on the email. Appreciate it. Guys, once again, if you're looking to possibly purchase a transmission swap like T56, TKX, whatever, Neo 200 off, okay, that is the code at Hanlon Motorsports. So. Anyways, one thing while I let this run for a few more minutes, one thing I was going to tell you guys about Stiflers. So big shout out to Brian and Tom Clark. I mentioned to earlier in the video or the live stream or whatever. So if you run a Stiflers cross member, like naturally you probably wouldn't see something like this. Unless you really beat the shit out of your cross members. But you can see I really jacked up the bushings on both sides. These are like hardened plastic or whatever. But like I broke these bushings on this came out of my white car. I actually ended up putting the one from my black car that was a T56 swap. Anyways, I told Stiflers about it, and they've been helping us on the channel for years. And Tom Clark and Brian sent me hold on a second. And I'm going to do a short on this, so make sure you guys watch it back too. I do want to mention to you guys here, they actually sell a hardware kit. I send you all new hardware and black plastic bushings and the red plastic bushings. See that? So that's pretty cool. So if you have a Stifler's cross member, know that you can get support from Stiflers if there's any issues whatsoever. Got some keychains. Got some stuff to give away here. Oh boy. Appreciate that, Tom. So like I said, we're gonna do a little short video on that. Magna Fuel as well hooked us up too. So let me give away this banner real quick, and I'll we'll talk about the list, and then we'll get it out. Get out of here. Shannon Adams, congratulations. You won the garage swag, the Tremec banner. I'll ship that out tomorrow. Send the email to neomustangs@hotmail. Right here. And let me know your address and which banner you want, and I'll send it out to you. Anyways. What do you say? I need a keychain. All right, guys. Today's video was legitimately, or the live stream was, to help you guys that may be getting into Fox bodies, may own a Fox body, or haven't experienced enough with the Fox body to know, what areas might be of concern. And that's why we, this is a topic we're going to continue to talk about. And we're going to revisit again very soon, on top of the hazards as well with the wiring, because I want to talk about that as well. But strut towers, torque boxes, this is something, strut towers you can physically see. Torque boxes you have to get underneath the car to look at. There's definitely some signs of, ripping and tearing going on back there. Sunroof has all kind of problems we talked about earlier in the live stream with the drainage, the seals, the clips. I got the sunroof sitting right here on my black car on the ground for a reason. All your weather stripping pretty much is beat up in these cars at 35 years. I mean, if you haven't changed it yet, I guarantee that, that rubber's seen better days. Roof wobble, the brace on the roof, wobbling around if you got a roof wobble with your coupe or your hatch or whatever. So headlight problems. We talked about headlight problems, having the bucket messed up, getting yellow, getting water inside of them. There's ways to remedy that. The bumper brace. And guys, this is just the start. You know what I mean? This stuff here legitimately on these whiteboards is to just get you guys kind of familiarized with some of the shit that, could go wrong or is wrong with your car that you don't even know about. So like GT headlight switch and ignition switch are literally a serious hazard in Fox bodies. If there was two things outside of torque boxes literally falling out of your car that I would tell you to look at, it's that. Because torque boxes fall out of your car goes sideways. Your rag joint rips, you hit a wall. Your GT headlight switch or your ignition switch melt together, your car burns down. Those, if I had to choose the most important ones today in this live stream, I would probably say those three are your main issues: steering and fire. So, and this can go on for the whole Fox body genre for the most part. I enjoy doing, live streams that are kind of like a collaboration, like a working live stream where we're actually, talking about, I've experienced I've probably owned over 500 Fox bodies and seen a lot of them come and go. And I've seen a lot of issues and experienced a lot of shit on these cars that will just blow your mind. I mean, sun visors. I've watched sun visors literally start a headliner on fire. I've watched, AC wide open throttle relay switches literally start smoking on the header because they were bare wires. And, that's just going to backfeed and just burn up all your wiring and guess what happens to your battery? So I just, again, it's just trying to, make sure that, you're aware of some of these issues that may be a problem. But, guys, if your shit's sitting on jack stands, you got to get it off. You know what I mean? You got to get it off the jack stands. You know what I mean? Get the shit fixed, make a plan, put a whiteboard up, figure out what you're going to do. I got a lot going on back here, going on with my white car this week. I did 3 videos last week, and I felt that, I still got 2 to do this week that I've already shot and filmed. And I really hope that, it helps somebody or helps you guys here on the channel. So I do appreciate it, you guys, for stopping in tonight. And I do appreciate you guys that, if you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing. If you were part of the members chat, I appreciate, the guys in green are my channel members. So thank you guys so much for what you guys do for us on a monthly basis. Once again, we'll be, I'll be in members chat this week quite a bit. Mine just went back up on it. Oh, so I want to give a big shout out to Hanlon Motorsports. Let me tell you what, the guy has spent years or just getting this car right. And then his motor blows up and then he's down for like this whole year. He's missed a bunch of events, but like I tell him, keep your head up, make a list, check it twice, get the shit done. And he actually ended up finding out some really good information that he's going to probably share here on the live stream when we bring him in sometime soon. That might help some Coyote people that might have an issue with an MSD 2-step box stuff. It's stuff I definitely want to put on, get out there, because it took him a long time to actually find this information out, something about wiring and stuff. So that's what this community is all about, guys. It's all about, trying to, trying to make a better community, make it better, information, having the information out there and try to help somebody. So it's all about, I'm sitting in this chair to help you guys here in the genre. So, guys, I'm going to probably go ahead and get off the live chat now. I want to thank you guys for stopping in. Appreciate everybody for joining tonight. As far as video is concerned, we did another back half race that didn't go quite as planned that we're going to be doing this week. We're obviously going to be doing the video with the white car as we're in a crunch time to get that car to the track this weekend. So look forward to seeing you guys in chat. Look forward to see you guys in comments. This is actually going to be one of the first live streams I'm going to convert to podcasts. So I don't know what to really expect with that, but we're going to try it out anyway. So, but anyways, guys, stay motivated. Get your shit off the jack stands. I love y'all. Appreciate everybody for stopping in tonight. Thank you so much. We'll see you soon this week in the next video. Have a good night.